Congress pass, between this letter being issued to Mr. Bosco and the production and distribution of 10 to 40 million of these braces and the implementation of your rule, did Congress pass a law? What changed?
Congress did not pass a law, but something did change. What changed is that that item that was submitted was not produced and was not the item that was marketed. And Mr. Bosco, I think, before this committee said that people were using stabilizing braces in ways that he hadn't anticipated.
Okay, let me challenge that assertion. So you say that the brace changed, and so you had to implement this rule. Well, I've got here the actual original brace that this letter was responsive to. Are you telling me that this brace is exempt from your rule?
What I'm saying is that if people have products that are not
is this brace exempt from your rule?
I can't sit here and classify.
This is the brace you wrote the letter to.
Classification, and if it's not ruled to be attached as a short-barreled rifle, it will not be subject to the rule.
Would you please quit telling this committee that the brace has changed and that's why you did the rule when in fact you're not exempting the same brace that you gave this letter to?
If the brace is submitted, we'll classify it.
Do you still have the same agreement that this brace that the ATF agreed to in 2012 should not be under the jurisdiction of your rule?
If that brace is submitted with a firearm, we will examine and classify it. If it doesn't qualify,
reclaiming my time because it's pretty obvious you're misleading people here when you say that the brace has changed because your rule affects the braces that didn't change.
Another major step in curtailing the abuse of the alphabet agencies by the Biden administration. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there will be a link in the description box below. And if you like my channel, like my content and what I do here, you can support me with a link in the description box. Everything is appreciated. Let's talk about this now. A Fifth Circuit court out of New Orleans has deemed that the arm brace rule by the ATF is probably illegal. Now, likely illegal is the wording that they use, but I'm going to keep it true to the wording. But this is a huge step, another huge step, because if you remember, a judge in Texas, Reed O'Connor, stated that the ATF ruling could be put on hold until it went through the courts. Well, it's moved to the next level, and this district court here in New Orleans has come back with another ruling in favor of the law-abiding gun owner. Let's jump in. This is from Reuters. U.S. pistol brace rule likely illegal. Federal appeal court rules. Okay, now, August 1st. A U.S. regulation restricting ownership of gun accessories known as pistol braces is likely illegal. A federal appeals court ruled Tuesday, a victory for gun rights group challenging the rule. A 2-1 panel of the New Orleans-based 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals found that the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives finalized the rule in January without giving the public a meaningful chance to comment on it. That made it invalid under the Federal Administrative Procedure Act, the panel found. The court did not immediately block enforcement of the rule, instead sending the case back to U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor in Fort Worth, Texas. O'Connor will have to decide whether to issue an order blocking enforcement while the case goes forward, and if so, whether that order will apply nationwide only to the plaintiffs in the case. If you remember, I did a video on that, and this Judge O'Connor, basically his ruling only applied to the plaintiffs specifically. So that was the two gun stores that brought forward the suit, and I believe the Second Amendment Foundation. So anyone who belonged to the Second Amendment Foundation were basically protected under his ruling, while now the Fifth Circuit has sent it back to him for clarification. Several federal judges have already issued preliminary orders blocking enforcement of the rule enacted by President Joe Biden's administration and challenged by lawsuits from gun rights groups. But those orders apply only to the members of the groups and only in those judges' jurisdictions. The lawsuit was brought by the Firearms Policy Coalition. So there's a correction. So it's not Second Amendment, it's the Firearms Policy Coalition. Cody Wisniewski, the group's lawyer, calling ruling a huge win for peaceable gun owners across the nation. ATF and the U.S. Department of Justice declined to comment. Okay, I'm going to come down. I'm going to skip this because we know what arm braces are about. Oh, you should know. Disputed rule classifies some guns equipped with pistol braces as short barrel rifles based on several factors, including their size and weight and the manufacturer's marketing materials. Short barrel rifles are subject to special registration, longer waiting periods for purchase, and higher taxes because they are potentially more dangerous than handguns. Fifth Circuit Judge Jerry Smith wrote Tuesday that the ATF's final rule is dramatically different from the proposed rule offered for public comment in 2021, and a couple of lawsuits actually mentioned the fact that what the ATF proposed and what you could actually comment on was different from the final rule. Not massively different, but different enough to raise concern. Circuit Judge John Willett said in a concurring opinion that the rule likely violated not only the Administrative Procedure Act, but also the right to bear arms under the Second Amendment of the Constitution, an issue that the majority did not address. Circuit Judge Stephen Higginson dissented, saying that the final rule did not require public comment because it merely interpreted a law passed by Congress. But the law passed by Congress had nothing to do with specifically arm braces. So he's kind of embellishing on that to then have his dissenting opinion. Smith and Willett were appointed by Republican former presidents Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump, respectively, while Higginson was appointed by Democrat former President Barack Obama, which clearly shows, and I've said this before, that judges do not vote based on law and the Constitution. They actually vote based on their biases. And that's not how things are supposed to be. It's also kind of bad either way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and come out of that. So this is, once again, this is a long march in a number of cases to where we stop holding law-abiding citizens accountable for the behavior of criminals. Because, once again, the rule only affects those who are willing to follow it. And those who don't will continue to behave in the manner that they've always behaved in, which is a detriment to those of us who do follow the rules. Now, states like a good example here is Connecticut. This ruling does not really help us because we have a law, HB 6667, that pretty much bans these kind of items, which we call others. So this isn't going to affect us. But you have to remember that I did a video also on Grant versus Lamont being amended to also challenge the ban on others. So this is just good information. I had to get it out to you. And definitely happy that these courts are actually following the Constitution as it is written and not imposing their own political ideals into it or social ideals. So once again, this is got to pay attention to all these cases because all these cases have national implications. Even the state level ones have national implications because they're all going to end up in the Supreme Court. Hopefully they'll get there soon and we'll get a ruling that will then give us precedent to basically overturn unconstitutional laws. So good deal. Keep your chin up and be active. Be active as possible, much as you possibly can. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.